Hey everybody, let me scoot in a little bit. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Salt City Counseling. Once again, my name is Scott Carter. I am a therapist. I specialize in treating teenagers, working with family and parenting issues. If you're new here, I hope you will subscribe and follow me. Not only because I feel like I give some outstanding parenting tips, but because I am actively fighting teen suicide and I need people to join the Resiliency Alliance. Right now, that doesn't really mean anything other than just supporting and kind of spreading the word, but ultimately it's like I have goals to create an organization in which people are trained in like resiliency, responding to kids who are suicidal, stuff like that is kind of what we need right now. Now, I want to talk about something that comes up a lot lately. I want to talk about teen depression. Okay. And so a little bit too about me is that I spend a fair amount of time on Quora.com, spelled Quora. And I like Quora a lot because it's really, really easy to kind of see and follow the trends in thinking and be able to get at least a beat on some of the biggest questions that people have about various topics and concerned with mental health. And I weigh in on a lot of topics. I didn't really intend it for it to be this way, but I've ended up being one of the top writers for borderline personality disorder. This channel is not dedicated to BPD. It's not dedicated to that stuff. But if you want information, go over to Quora and you can follow me. It's the same name, Scott Carter. I'm a clinical mental health counselor. Anyway, so I see this question come up a lot, other than the question of which celebrities have personality disorders, and I don't know. Don't ask me. I have no idea. Somebody even asked, does Bob Dylan have a personality disorder? Like, man, I don't know how you possibly can expect someone like me to know that. Anyways, one of the topics that is coming up a lot lately is teens and depression. Now, it's interesting because we do tend to write off teens like they're just melodramatic. And for argument's sake, man, sometimes they are. Sometimes they just are. But in this day and age, we are dealing with teens who are seriously struggling with suicide. We have a huge number of suicidal teens. It's alarming. Clearly, it's worse than just a phase. Clearly, it's worse than just normal teen. I mean, when I was a kid, I was down. I thought my life sucked. I just was snotty, like, ugh. I think this is the nonverbal indicator of a teenager. We'll just do this instead of say teens, but I'm just kidding. They're not like that. I actually really enjoy teens. They're a lot of fun, man. They keep me young, keep me on my toes. But it's working with teens is rewarding. It really is, because the kids can turn around quick. It's one of the things I like about them is they can be very, very responsive to treatment. But this particular video is about teen depression. So number one, are kids more depressed these days? I believe so, very much. Yes. Otherwise, the rates of suicide wouldn't be as high. Okay. Another question that comes up frequently, are they just making it up? Is it just a phase? It does not appear to be that way because, again, of the high rates of suicide. It does not just appear to be just a fad, like a teen fad. In my experience, people have to get to an extremely difficult and dark place emotionally in order to really hold suicide as a viable solution. That they're just in pain. They're just in so much pain that they just want to end it. They don't see a way through it. They believe that it will be permanent. It's a dark place, man. Being suicidal is a dark place. Okay. Third question: why are teens more suicidal? Okay. I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I'm gonna throw three of the big ones, the most egregious ones. Okay. Number one, social media. It's problematic. Okay. Social media is problematic. Kids are comparing themselves to others. Kids are looking on their phones and they're seeing that their friends are off doing fun things without them, and they're like, "Oh, I guess they don't love me. I guess they don't want to be my friend." I mean, we didn't have this, man. Did my group of friends run off and do stuff without me all the time? Probably. Did that mean they didn't want me around? Not even at all. It just happens, right? Social media has a way of, it is an issue. Stay tuned for my social media Bill of Rights for kids. Something that I drafted a couple of days ago and putting some finishing touches on. It wasn't that hard. I got the help from a really good and insightful friend, but it's something that I would like to make widely available for teenagers so that we can help them to start putting some boundaries on social media. I'm going to do a separate video on it once I'm kind of completed the whole thing, so that I can talk about the social media Bill of Rights. It's really intended for kids to empower themselves to put boundaries on social media. Okay. The second factor that I find that I believe is contributing, and then I'm going to do a bonus one. The second factor that I believe is contributing to it, and it does kind of have to do too with these things, is the lack of physical movement. I've talked about this in other videos and some of my other content. Kids are not physically moving. They are sedentary. They are not moving. Movement is a natural remedy for anxiety and depression. Okay, and quite frankly, the difference between depression and sadness, by the way, I mean, sadness is normal. Sadness is healthy. Sadness is a natural, normal, and healthy response to difficult things in life. That's the truth, okay? But depression is when we're stuck. I can tell when depression is setting in when I just feel blah, unmotivated, I don't move, and I'm isolated, okay? And kids are isolated. Part of my social media Bill of Rights is intended to teach kids, or sorry, I'm having a brain fart. It's intended to help promote the idea to kids that having relationships in person is far more rewarding than social media. It's far better to go spend time with friends than to Snapchat them. Far better. But they're isolated. They're sedentary. They're holding still. They're not moving. Video games. And take it from someone who got their first Nintendo Entertainment System in the 4th grade. And I have basically followed the course of video games for the past, whatever, since then. Since the 4th grade. What is that, like 30 years? Something like that? Like 30 years? Video games these days, you can play them forever. I even had one guy, he said, well, to me, video games are like sports. And I'm like, except that you can't play sports for 10 hours. Well, that's true. Yeah, it is true. But kids will stay in the basement and play video games all day. And then they wonder why they're depressed. There is a saturation point for video games. Kids will say they're fun. Yeah, they're fun for like an hour or two. By the 6th hour, it's not fun. You're just, yeah, we've seen it, right? Number 3, okay, depression also has to do with having a poor self-evaluation or perceiving low self-worth. In other words, kids having bad self-esteem. They don't like themselves. They see themselves as faulty, imperfect, screwed up, inherently bad, inherently evil, having major issues. Everything they do is bad. They never do anything right. And I'll be honest, most of that is coming from parents. The parents that I work with, it's like the only thing that they bring up is what you missed. You know, I mean, if the kid mows the lawn and does a great job and missed one tiny spot, then he or she doesn't hear, hey, you did a great job on the lawn. You think you see anything else? Or just do me a favor and do that real quick, but you did a great job. Instead, what they do, they go, oh, geez, you missed a spot. I mean, how many times have I told you to do it right? Right? And when kids get this from their parents, every turn, it destroys their self-worth, their self-esteem. They will see themselves as horrible, stupid, and useless. Okay, the world will do that to them. The world will already beat them down. Home life, family life needs to be a sanctuary. It needs to be a safe haven, and I think a lot of kids have lost that. Parents are too hypercritical. I've done other videos on this. Parents have high expectations and a low tolerance for mistakes and failures. That's called perfectionism, folks. It is really, really harmful. Perfectionism to kids, it kills them. Failure is a necessary ingredient for greatness. Necessary. My last point, this is the bonus. Quite honestly, kids are smoking more weed than they ever have. Now, look, I know there are people out there that are going to go, oh, marijuana is not going to hurt you. Yeah, I'm not saying it hurts you, but we're not intended to sit on the couch for 6 hours and eat potato chips every day. Anything can be done in excess. And I don't have big issues with the drug. It is illegal. Like, if a kid walks in here and says he's doing meth, then I'm worried. It doesn't happen, thank goodness. But if a kid is smoking weed, man, they don't know how to have boundaries with it. The subculture tells them that it's harmless and just go crazy, and they don't get anything done. It alters their mood. They don't learn to emotionally regulate on their own without the drug. And kids are not meant to spend all their free time on the couch smoking pot, man, and they wonder why they're depressed. The drug is, you know what? It might be a hallucinogen. Might be pretty sure it's a depressant. It might be a little bit of both. But either way, couch lock, it exists. And I get kids in here that's like, these pot smoking kids, and the parents are like, it's pretty harmless, you know. What have you been doing the last 2 weeks? Nothing. Literally nothing, because you've just been smoking pot. This movement, pro marijuana movement. I mean, you're not supposed to drink alcohol every day. You're not supposed to smoke pot every day. But kids, and their brains are still developing. I'm going on a tear here, but it's no wonder the kids are more depressed when they're smoking more of the drugs. So those are some of my thoughts on depression. And this video is going a little bit longer than I wanted to, but as a way to help kids with depression, okay, what is the first point? Social media. Teaching kids boundaries. Look for my social media bill of rights. Put them on the fridge. Second point is that kids are not moving or not getting enough movement. Find some type of movement that they want to do. Do they want to play a sport? Great, let's get you signed up. What do you want to do? Put it in their court and be like, hey, do you want this? Yeah. Then you're going to need to pick something to do. Point 3, which is being too hard on them, being overly critical on them. Learn to focus on the positives. Don't go up to them and say, I can't believe you missed the spot again. Why can't you ever do this right? Go up to them and go, you did actually a really good job. Thank you. Do me a favor, get that one little spot. You'll be good to go. Switch it. There's such a difference there. And obviously with smoking weed, that can be tough. I generally find that, I mean, kids these days, they can rebel and they can do stuff. I try to tap into a kid's motivation. What do they want? Like this one kid who's, man, he just smokes weed all the time. It's like, what do you want? He's like, I'm tired of being broke. Well, what's keeping you from getting a job? Smoking pot all day? There you go. It's getting in your way of what you want. So that is going to do it for this one. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. If you want to support my teen suicide efforts, I could really use your help. Go click on the link below. Donate even a small amount of money. You can help me save kids' lives. I am in the business of saving our teenagers' lives. I'm trying to save them from themselves, okay? Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.